Get some ring light action happening here. And hello everybody, welcome. Yay, ring light. It gets maybe a little bit on the orange side. So is my shirt, so I'm just gonna let it ride. Oh! It's doing tricks. We're having a party, a disco party. It's doing tricks. Oh, and I'm not muted. We're having a party. There we go, okay. Whoa, come on, man. That ain't cool. You should see what it's doing. See what I mean? It's dying, guys. Oh, serious technology meltdown. All right, so I guess you're looking at me with no ring light today. It's just spazzing out. All right, so we definitely yeah, am I at a rave? Actually, let me go put the hell light on. I know that it's not the greatest for video recording, but we do need a little bit of light down here on the subject when we get turned around. So cheers and good morning. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong when the weather is, 40 below. Good morning, Betty, or shall I say Sue? It's good to see you. Hang on just a second, guys. It is malfunction junction around here. All right, but we're getting by just fine. We've got hot coffee. Cheers, everybody. And welcome, Ryan, Tomcat Josh, my chubby hubby, the lava bison. It's a lovely day now that lava is here. Jacquelib or Jaka, Jahik, Caleb. Freeform welcome. Oh, and the bear is here. Welcome, bear. Not one single snowflake? Huh. We've got so many snowflakes to admire. You guys could just come up here and admire snowflakes till you're just sick with yourself. Thank you, Josh. He's gonna get the bell ringing first thing this morning. The saw blade's stuck to the magnet on the flashlight. So it sounds a little goofy, but we'll roll with it. Because everything is a little like that today. There was ice in the dog bowl this morning. I think I've lived in this house for like, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 years, and I've never seen ice in the dog bowl in the morning, so that was very exciting. It got dang cold here last night. It was all I could do to just curl up under my blanket and freeze all night. The music's a bit much for me. Hang on. As soon as I get over here, it changes. It's not so much the temperature. The temperature is ridiculous as well. But when the wind blows on top of a really bad temperature, man, there's just no keeping it out of your house. It comes through every old window, every loose floorboard, every doorknob, every light switch, every outlet. It just gets in your house. And so I am a little late today. I was feeding the fire all night long, and then when I got up this morning, my arms and my sleeves and my fingers and everything just reeked like fire smoke, and I had a headache from sleeping with it all night long. I get up, poke the fire, curl up in bed and be like, oh, I just stink. And so I had to just take a minute this morning, do a little bit of self-care before we got started and keep on fighting. And I'm not going to kid you guys, I've fallen just a little behind in my rock doings because of such things. Just something for you to look at while we visit and say our good mornings. Did I say hi to Ryan? I might not have. Hi, Ryan. And Bent Fork was gifted. Jackie was gifted. There are some good people in there, you guys. Thank you, Tomcat Josh. So I did polish this huge agate end cut. It's kind of a neat thing. And I did it with some brand new flat lap wheels that Lava Bison gifted the channel. So thank you, Lava Bison. We've got a new 60 grit. But Ma's probably hungry. A new 80 grit. And a new 100 grit. And you know, it's been a hot minute since this prairie girl has seen any fireworks, so I'm not gonna lie either. I was slightly intimidated by these wheels. I was like, dang, you know, like you could probably really chuck a rock with one of these. So I gloved up just in case it grabbed a nail or anything, because I didn't want to lose half a fingernail in 0.2 seconds, and placed the rock on the wheel, and it sparked and it lit up, and it was like, whoa! Some of the most fun. Oh, I still have most of my teeth, not all of my teeth. What are we talking about, Bear? Fed those some rocks. They looked hungry. It was amazing, you guys. It was like the dang 4th of July up in here. I wished I had recorded it because it was so much fun. It was like lighting up and yeah, woo. So that was wonderful. I was, you know, like I had said on my last video when I talked about running the flat lap that I abused the living crap out of these chunky grits, these, you know, 100s, 60s, 80s. And a lot of people don't even want a 60 grit wheel or an 80 grit wheel. Oh, thank you, Rufo. Thanks for popping in, saying hello to us all. Have a lovely day at work. Yeah, they still have all their teeth because they're so new. Yeah, for now. Anyway, Bear. So again, I was a little bit frightened to try them, but it was a wonderful experience. It just, yeah, invigorated me. It was a blast. So, thanks to Lava Bison. That was a lot of fun, and I'll try to make a video. I'll try to refrain from my inner excitement. And yes, this is the kind of diamonds this kind of girl does want. Otherwise, you can keep your diamonds. Cheers, everybody. So yeah, it's been brutal cold. Just a quick story before we move on to the next rocks projects over here, but it's great for shaping rocks for the tumbler. Agree, Cynthia. Your videos are better when you don't hold back your inner excitement. I just didn't hold back my inner excitement long enough to even turn the camera on, Ryan. was the foul on my half there. Yep. Right, Patricia, and welcome, Cynthia. I didn't say hello to you girls. Welcome. Glad you're here. Appreciate your company today on such a miserable day here on the prairie. So, a few days ago, right at the end of my shift, one of my kids' friends came in and got a few groceries, and the next thing I knew, I looked out the window and he is out with the hood up on his truck. And as you guys know, these kids are mechanically inclined, so I'm like, I'll give him a few minutes to figure it out. Glad to have you here, Patricia. And I look out the window again, and he's shutting the hood, and he gets in, and I'm like, there, he's got it. Well, I look out again a few minutes later, and he's back out with the hood open. So I'm like, I probably better go see what's going on out there. And I step out. He's just parked right outside the front door, and I'm like, what you got going on out here? And he's like, oh, well, and right about that time, I kind of glanced down inside the hood, and I'm like, oh! I can clearly see he's having a problem. There is just snow packed in the front of his truck, so much that he's got this like cheap little white plastic fan blade, and it's just like blackened the edges of this thing as it's trying to fight its way through the snow, and it absolutely cannot turn. And because the fan can't turn, even though it's ridiculously cold, like literally 14 below without the wind chill, his truck still overheated while he was in grabbing some groceries. And so he's out there like trying to chisel the snow out of the hood of the truck with, like, I think he had a windshield scraper and I don't know, a stick or some kind of poker thing he had found in his truck. So he's chiseling away, and he's just really, I mean, like, I grabbed a few things from inside the store to try to help him, and I was like, maybe we should go inside and rethink this for just a minute, because, I mean, gosh dang, it's cold. And we go inside, and I'm like, what about dumping a bucket of water on it, and just, like, let's quit pussyfooting around, and, like, let's get it free and see what's going on. So we dump some water on it. I'm like, you need to get in there and fire it up before things freeze and seize. And he's like, yep, I'm on it. And he gets in there and he cranks, and it just spews smoke. It just spews smoke out, and it's like, paka, 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 and it's just not going. And the more it pakas, the more smoke comes out of it. And I'm like, he gets out and he's like, I think I might have blown a head gasket. And I'm like, I hate to tell you, but I don't think it's going anywhere tonight. So I offer to give him a ride home. It's literally the end of my shift. I tell him, if you want to just wait a few minutes for me to close the store up and everything, I'll give you a ride home. And he lives out of town just a ways. And so we're heading out, and as we're putzing along, I'm like, I'd asked him, how'd you get all that snow in the front of your truck anyway? I mean, we had a brutal windstorm the night before, and I wondered if he'd parked nose into the wind, if it just drifted in. I mean, and he says, no, I put her in the ditch on the way. And I'm like, that'd do it. So as we're putzing along, I'm like, so you say you put her in the ditch, huh? And he's like, yeah. I said, where at? And he's like, oh, you'll see. It's way up here by the house. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we get off of the frontage road, the secondary road, onto like a gravel road. And he's telling me, hey, Opal guy, welcome. He's telling me, this road gets a little bit drifty. And I'm like, we're in 4-wheel drive. Hopefully we don't need any more than 4, And it started out pretty good, but the farther down this gravel road we got, the more drifty it did get. And we get to now we'll call it the 4th road, where we have to turn off the gravel road onto the driveway to get out to his little farmhouse. We get to the turn there, and right by the gate or the mailbox or whatever there's a pretty good drift. And I'm like, oh, you've kind of got to give her the full onion right here, huh? And he's like, pretty much from here to the house. So by this time, I'm already giving her some to get through this drift and get onto this like little bit of road to go to the house. And I'm like, Kurt, I'm like, what are you guys doing living out here? This is crazy. And I'm like, how far is it to the house? Like, because now this is bad. This is like 3-4 foot drifts. You're hitting them. You're going sideways. You can't see the road. I mean, we might as well be 4-bying across an empty field. And he's like, it's about 1.5 miles. And I'm like, oh my God, you kids should not be living out here. This is insane. So I get him up to the house, and I get him dropped off, and I 4-by my way back on out of there. And I think to myself later, I'm like, the saying out here on the prairie is that no good deed goes unpunished. And I'm like, so let's just hope my truck isn't the next one to blow up or anything stupid. Well, that brings us to yesterday, when it was time for me to go to work and my truck wouldn't start. Again, it was brutal cold yesterday and last night, like really brutal, blizzardy cold. So I say, give her the onion daily. Yes, full send it, full send it. So I call my boss, and I'm like, hey, my truck won't start, but if you want to come get me, And they're like, yeah, we'll be down there in just a minute, no problem. Their rigs are started and ready, because when I get there, they go home. So they're already out, got their rig started and warm, And I'm like, yeah, come get me. So they take me to work, and my boss says, I'll come get you after work tonight too. And I'm like, thanks, I appreciate that. Well, I closed the store, and I'm like, I could be done a little early if they showed up a little early. No, well, here comes like a little late. and they're still not here. Not, you know, I expect just him, not both of them, but, and now it's like a lot late. And I'd messaged my kid. I was like, hey, could you preheat the oven so that when I get home, I can cook some dinner? And he's like, yeah, sure thing. And now it's like an hour beyond. And I'm like, okay. So I'd messaged my boss. I'm like, hey, did you forget me? No reply. So I messaged my kid back and I'm like, hey, son, I would have been home like an hour ago, but I think my ride might have forgot me. And so he's like, do you want me to try to come get you? And I'm like, it's awful cold, but yeah, if you wanted to, buddy, I'd appreciate a ride. So I messaged my boss again. I'm like, my kid's gonna try to fire his car up and come get me because I don't want him to like show up looking for me later and I'm not there if he doesn't have to, right? So I'm trying to keep in touch with him. He's still no reply. And the next message I get is from my kid. Broke down on my way, walking back to Kurt's house. And I'm like, shit. Like full crap. Like, okay, so I'm like, it's time to like start rage calling my boss because now my kid's out in this stuff and it's cold. And so I'm like, ring, ring, ring. I'm calling and I'm going to call until he answers. And I'm going to call his wife too. And she answered the phone first try. And I'm like, hey, I really need some help down here. Now my kid's out in this. I could really use a ride. And she's like, crap. So he comes whizzing around the corner to pick me up, and we go looking for my kid, and he'd made it down to the neighbor's house, and the neighbor and him were out firing up the neighbor's truck. He broke down right in the middle of the road, but we were able to drive around him. So as I get there, here's my neighbor and my kid in the truck getting ready to go hook a tow rope to his car and drag his car the whole like block and a half back down to the house. And I'm like, hell no, thanks for the help, buddy. But no, go, you shut your truck off, go inside, be warm. I was like, we were able to drive around it. So is everybody else probably going to be able to drive around it. And I'm like, yeah, no, we'll come get it. It's supposed to warm up tomorrow, maybe a little bit today. But I'm like, let's do it when the sun's shining. Hey, yeah, doesn't that sound like more pleasant? So we get a knock on the door a few minutes later, and it's one of my kids' friends, and he's like, hey, just saw your car down there. Do you want to try to go get it? And I'm like, no, it's nasty, brutal, like dangerous cold outside. It can sit there. It'll probably move on its own accord as soon as it warms up. Like, no. And then the next knock on the door is my kid's dad. And he's like, I just drove Caden's car home, but now my car is sitting down there. I'm like, oh my God. And by this time, I'm already, like I say, over an hour late coming home from work. It was 9 o'clock before I got home from work, and 9:15 before we were eating dinner. Yeah, it was negative 28 this morning. Yeah, it was stupid cold last night. It was just ridiculous. So yeah, I fed the fire. But anyway, I mean, you're just fighting just to get to work, or just to keep your pipes from freezing, or just to, I mean, it's so stupid out here that, yeah, I haven't had a lot of time to get to my rocks this last week. So there's my admission of failure to you all. I'm just trying to staying alive. We're just trying up here to stay alive. Oh. All right, so I did get a new Shake-O-Matic, and I've been shaking the out of everything. It's been wonderful. Yeah, and Jennifer, I just gotta ask, did you get the wind too? Did you get that nasty wind with your negative 28-degree temperature? It's not a fail? Yeah, well, I feel a little behind. It's just been kind of like I say, you get one step forward, one step back, and you just kind of are maintaining here and hoping for a win of some sort. Like like I say, hoping that this wind will blow in some warmer temperatures. It's supposed to, thank goodness, but. All right, let's turn it all around. How messed up is Texas? Yeah, a lot of places would call it quits and not even try, but, you know, for a lot of us out here, that really just isn't an option. So we keep going. So I got the luxury of pulling just a few of my rocks out of my personal collection off of the shelf that sits boop, boop, boop right in front of my workstation here between my living room and my kitchen. And they get a little bit dusty sitting up there on display. And it's nice to clean them up every once in a while. So like I say, I had the luxury to take a couple of these down and put them through the shaker and get them nice and clean. So again, these are not the most dazzling or spectacular rocks that we've maybe all ever seen in our entire lives, but these were all found within a few miles of my home, and they're some of the nicer finds that I've ever found out here on the prairie. Some of the bigger, chunkier, look, that could probably go in the shaker again. That is gross. I'm gonna shake that again. That probably got shook, and then when it was sitting on the counter to dry, I spilled some coffee on it or something. That's disgusting. Sorry about that. But yeah, cute little druzy pocket in there. In fact, I do believe that is a little butthole. Butthole. Is it sparkling for you guys? Yeah, a little bit. It is, it is. And yeah, just about the prettiest pink color. And man, that ultrasonic cleaner, that shaker shake, it does such a wonderful job cleaning stuff up. Again, maybe not the most dazzling rocks anybody's ever seen in their entire lives, but I consider that a win when I'm out hunting. I'm like, yeah, that's a good one. Sorry about the zoomy action. I'm trying to get her better for you there. There we go. Now we can see some of the details over here. Yeah, like a red-orange. Some of it is pretty red, some of it's pretty orange, and then it'll fade like into pinks. Like there's some little like fort action happening there, a little fortification banding stuff happening there. And then there's this weirdo. So far, everything's looking fairly normal, right? Ooh, look at this banding we've got going on in here. Not bad for the prairie. Again, these aren't like Yellowstone finds or anything. These are found on the prairie. But here's where this one gets just a little weird. What's that? What is that going on in there? Is it a little quartz pocket? It's a little different. Yeah, did you see some lava bison? Did you see any of the video from Sweetgrass this morning? Oh my word. It was like that here a little last night. Just ground blizzard was blowing the snow. It was just brutal. Yeah, you know, like I say, this is, you know, definitely not on par with like some of the Yellowstone finds or anything like that, but again, I'm not searching the Yellowstone to find these. This is definitely just like, I mean, the middle of nowhere prairie. Oh, think of lava bison. Lava Bison's comment there just made me laugh. Yeah, you know, like I say, it just, you don't have to find the best spot in the whole wide world to find things that can delight you. Not every day do I find, like I say, stuff that I find worthy of putting up on my display, but once in a while I find a, you know, really interesting piece like this. Look at that little bit up there. Victoria, welcome. It's pretty brutal up there today, Lava. Oh, I don't know, Jennifer. That's a good question. Beep, beep, boop to Betty. I actually found like a humongous chunk of this. I find a little of this now and then, stuff that looks kind of like this anyways. I actually found a big one, and you know, I've been kind of a poo head. Angie, thank you. I've got some bell ringing to do if you guys don't mind. Real quick, let me take a moment to do that. And I'm going to turn you guys around while I do it, and I'm going to go get the big chonker. Come on, you can do it. There it is. You sent a slice to Rick? Let's see. Here we go. There's some ringing of the bells for you guys. Yeah, so he's just a little chunky chonker there. But I've got a, like I say, a big one that I actually should full send through the saw. Poor old dog. Poor old dog. And this one has not been through the shaker, so I cannot promise that there might not even be a spider or something on it. But look at that bad boy. Excuse me. That aside for just a second. Let's turn it around and look at it, because we're going to get some different looks, some different colors out of it, right? It is kind of a cool chunk, isn't it? Let's take a second, by the way, to cheers, and let's stay hydrated. I had to get an insulated cup today because my coffee won't stay warm. Because we're freezing out here, friends. We gotta zoom all the way out. Oh, that light is making it kind of look lots more gray than it is when it absolutely is like yellow. Look at all that beautiful, like, I don't know, brecciation in there. Oh, the light sucks. So yellow down in here. Holy moly. And a big old knobby sticking up over here. I honestly do think that this is a chert. It might be more, I don't know, it might jasper, but yeah, chertage, chertic, agate, chagate, chagate. It's a chagate or is it a jasper? It's a jasper, isn't it? It's not very translucent. Transparent probably if we cut it, but translucent maybe not. Did I say that bass-ackward? You guys know what I mean though, right? Just know what I mean, not necessarily know what I say. Hey there, Jeff. Welcome. This poor thing is so cold. It was on the floor. I'm so sorry, man. My floor is so cold today. It's definitely a wear your shoes in the house kind of day today. But yeah, is that not just like the bee's knees? Look, it's got a friend in there. There's a friend in there. That's a gravel of a different kind stuck in there. That's kind of cool. Let's do the zoom so you can see it. Poor thing. Hey, Wild. Let's warm you up. Poor thing. We should warm you up. We should put you in the big saw and let it have a bite of you. I bet this is a hard rock. It is super heavy, super dense. I bet this is a dang hard rock. Oh, but I bet it's pretty, you guys. So, the little guy, now where'd I put him? The little guy stays up in my, display. Because he fits nicely up there, as do the rest of these. There's some of my favorite finds. Get you turned up there just a bit. There we go. Just one more rock. Welcome and thanks for swinging in. So yeah, the big one, he definitely does not fit up there on the display. He just sits down by the staircase. But yeah, one of these days I'm gonna full send this bad boy. But like I say, it's gonna be so hard. I honestly, as much as I would, love to just go stick it through there today, it'd probably be a really good idea to do this in the summer, like when I can open all the windows and turn the fan on and stuff, and because we're gonna be running the saw for long periods of time. And if I do any more than, a few cuts, it's going to be like all day at the saw. And it'd just be nice to not have that kind of oil in the house, that kind of stink in the house. Be nice to get a really good ventilated day to do that. So that I'm not dying to death trying to do it. So yeah, as tempting as it is. Oh. And speaking of big rocks that need to have a date with the big saw, this thing. Let me see. I actually wouldn't maybe mind turning it. Nope. Let's actually go back the other way. Sorry. I know it doesn't matter to you guys, but it does actually matter. Okay. Josh is back for a quick little bit of eye candy here. Freebie Fred. Yeah, actually I've used this as a proc before. It actually makes a really nice like cell phone proc. So if you want to just like set your phone on here and watch a video or something, it's like really kind of got the right angle for procking your phone. Thanks again, Angie. Oh. But the reason why I got this out to show you guys today is because I was giving it a good look the other day, kind of wondering, you know, should I take a slab this direction? Should I maybe even like change directions now and start taking smaller slabs that go this way until I'm left with this like mahoosive chunk in the end, you know? Should I go ahead and try to grab some slabs from this side? You know, what does a girl do with this massive chunk? Thanks, Victoria. And it's got, by the way, a bot pocket over here. Bot pocket. It's only doing it because it knows you love it. Can I do a little in both directions? Well, see now, Ryan, when I got to looking at this rock, something seriously changed my mind about this. So, and you're going to see, I hope, here in just a second. So, I mean, it's absolutely stunning, no matter which way you cut it, right? If even this bit up here that gets a little bit boring is interrupted by this beautiful little, you know, bit of whatever this is. Okay, but down here, there is this whole stretch right here. And I was looking at it under the microscope the other day. Let's see how far in we can get. And you guys, there are tiny friends in there. Almost exactly like my little PrairieGirlRocks, where there's just a load of fossils in there. That whole band across this rock. Gosh, if I could get... I need a proc so that I can hold it steady for you guys. Let me find an appropriate proc. Yeah, you can see them. Right there, little tiny shells. And they're absolutely gorgeous underneath the microscope. And so now that you see them, I'd like to back out so you can get that band of agate that runs through it. Good golly, that's definitely my favorite bit of this rock, is this strip right through here. So let's see again. This strip right through here has all the fossils in it. How do you guys think I should cut this? I no longer think that I want to cut it on the skinny end. I now think maybe I'll even take the big chunk off so that I don't have, you know, how long is that damn rock? 6 inches, 7 inches long? I have a ruler. That way I don't have all like 7 inches of it to run through my saw. My goodness, this is ridiculous. This is not a real ruler. Let's see. The other side's got the inches. Where's it at? I saw it. It's more like, what is that? Like 8.5. 8.5 inches long. It's quite enormous. Woodish? Sure, except that it's full of sea critters. Yeah, that's definitely my favorite bit of this, is the bit that's full of the little sea critters. And I scoped the rest of the rock out pretty hardcore to make sure I wasn't missing any more friends. And there are no more friends in the rest of this rock. one long 8-inch slab, and then we see what's underneath, and then we go from there. Ryan. Roar! World of rock hounds, welcome. What if you just cut off some of the ends? Aren't you guys helpful? This piece actually is polished. This end, not necessarily well polished. This is a piece I got at an auction. And you can see that as opposed to this end that is not polished. I mean, so there's nothing wrong even with just keeping it as a specimen piece. It's beautiful. That's why it's just always sat here and been my phone proc. But I was playing around with the microscope the other night, and I was like, I wonder what this thing looks like under there. And I put it under there and was like, oh God, there's friends. And you honestly can see them with your naked eye. But when you get them magnified, you really can see them. And they're pretty cool. So, and there's a little chip right here. You can definitely see that little chip right there. But yeah, just too cool. I'd leave it as it is. Coffee applied. Human activated. But yeah, this is in the same boat. The reason why I brought this up, but I was also, when I remembered, very delighted to tell you about the friends in there. But yeah, what brings that up is it's in the same boat as this one. It's gonna have to be like a nice summer day when I can open all the doors and windows and just blast a fan, because it's gonna be a long day of cutting to get either one of these enormous behemoths into or out of the saw. So I know some people with some even bigger saws, and that might also be an option. I see that Kyle is multiplying. Yeah, that's kind of a bizarre way to start the day, isn't it? Oh, there he is in a different world of rock hounds. Teehee, teehee. Welcome, Joseph. And I am really live. Yeah, lunch sounds like a good idea. So yeah, things to look forward to are, some of the big rocks. And yeah, I mean, again, am I finding Yellowstone agates or, any of, what is it called? It's here in Montana, and they find the black and white agates, like Theo does. They're pretty darn fancy. But again, you don't have to have the greatest spot to go find some treasure. Like, I really do think that this is going to be a juicy, juicy rock. I really, really do think this is going to be delightful. It might not be everybody's cup of tea, but Bear Canyon. Yeah. I mean, this is no Bear Canyon. This is no Yellowstone River. But again, you guys, I find some pretty cool stuff out here on the prairie every once in a while. Well, every once in a while. Like I say, I'm not very successful as a meteorite hunter, but I'm extremely successful as a rock hound. I almost never come home empty-handed. So, prairie prospecting, welcome. Congratulations, you're just trucking along with your progress with your YouTube channel. And how's your weather up there, my north neighbor? I found ice in the dog bowl this morning, and I've never seen ice in my dog's bowl. Sorry, that's not a nice hairdo, but too bad, so sad. We gotta let the back of the shirt get dry before I freeze to death. And I saw Jeff in here earlier. I see he's got a premiere coming up tonight, and I know that it was negative 39 Celsius with a wind chill last night. Yeah, it was pretty daggone brutal, wasn't it? Also, A and Z rock counting expeditions, AZ rock counting expeditions. I don't know why I had a brain with that. Has their stuff tonight. I have my meteorite meeting tonight, so you guys will have to just pardon me if I miss your stuff. What else is going on, and do I know about and need to say? I don't know. Oh, I should show you guys this little weirdo. Not the most spectacular, but it is one of my, and I was looking at it under the microscope is why it's still there. Again, I think this is just a chert. I find a lot of chert out here, and some of it is pretty. But look at some of the druzy in this sparkly little son of a gun. And again, I'm so glad to have the privilege to be able to spiff my rocks up. The out of focus actually kind of helps to show how sugary that is. I'm so glad to have the privilege to be able to spiff my rocks up in the shaker. It makes cleaning my rocks so easy and enjoyable. Look at that, it's so pretty up there. Just sugary little bits all over. What's in that pothole? Shaker is the ultrasonic cleaner. And I put in my ultrasonic cleaner mostly water. I fill it up mostly with water. And then I put just a little drop of dish soap. And it depends. If I've got rocks that are really scaly and crusty, isn't this thing cool? Even the dark druzy, if you guys haven't noticed, the dark druzy is really pretty too. I put water, mostly water, just a little bit of dish soap, just a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and depending on how scaly they are, if they have that calcium buildup or whatever it is on them, the field crud, I'll put a shootload of vinegar in there too. And sometimes they need to be ran a few times, and sometimes you need to pull them out in between, 5-minute cycles or whatever, and give them a good scrub with a toothbrush and run them again. But my rocks that are already clean, that I just have, like I say, sitting up on my display, they just need a quick little 5-minute shake with just a little bit of hot water, dish soap, and maybe some rubbing alcohol. They don't even necessarily need the vinegar, because there isn't any more scuzz crud to get off of these rocks. They're already clean. But cleaning these, like I say, because they sit out in the open, they sit in my, see the empty holes in my my display tray? These live up in there. That's their home for everyone to see them. And so they get just a little bit dusty and gross. See, I've got all kinds of rocks up there, and it's so nice to, instead of having to hand wash each and every one of them, it's so nice to just be able to grab a few of them, put them in the ultrasonic cleaner, and it just shakes them and sparkles them right up. Like I say, all that sparkly stuff there, it can get dusty, and it just kind of loses its luster, and it's pretty, especially like the agates and things that you want to kind of see that outside sheen. They'll get a little dusty and gross. And it's nice to be able to just put them in the ultrasonic cleaner, like I say, with a little bit of hot water, dish soap, and maybe a little bit of rubbing alcohol. Set it for 5 minutes, walk away, come out, get them, dry them with a towel, and put them back up in the display thing, and they're shiny and clean again. So, and I get lots of dust because I run a fireplace. Like, it's ridiculous. Every surface in this house gets covered in ash and dust and junk, and it's gross. So I'm a big fan of the ultrasonic cleaner. I really, really appreciate having it. It's a joy to just chuck stuff in there. And in between tumbling grits, I use it religiously in between tumbling grits too, because Oof, I just about dropped that slick little guy. Because I'll tumble things with a little pocket. And in the tumbling world, we'll call that a little grit grabber. Those little pockets and live edges and things love to grab and trap grit. And being able to throw that in the ultrasonic cleaner and get the grit out of there between tumbles is like, hallelujah. See, there's dust on that. But yeah, to be able to shake the grit out of them little holes and stuff, way to go, way to go. So that's another thing I'm working on right now is I've had a request to make a little bit of some bigger jewelry. And so this was one of the candidates that I may wire wrap for a bigger necklace. Oop. Can't turn my wrist that far. Didn't quite give her a big enough push. There we go. And this is a piece of something that I found out here on the prairie. And it's actually kind of pretty. Again, it's maybe not the most glorious thing in the whole wide world, but you know what? From start to finish, I found this rock. I went out, got off my couch, put some gas in my truck, loaded up my dog, packed a snack, packed a bottle of water, went out in the elements, found this rock, brought it home, cut it, tumbled it, and will wire wrap it. And so even though it's not like, you know, a stunning, you know, let's just say like you know, a Botswana or a oh God, I can't think of the other one, Brazilian or anything like that. I'm quite proud of those, and they're delightful, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. So again, it's like, yeah, you know, I could jump in my car and go another, you know, 3 hours south of here and find the Montana agates that, you know, we're so well known for. But I appreciate being able to bring my little bit of the prairie to light as well. That's why I call myself PrairieGirlRocks instead of Yellowstone Rocks, right? But yeah, it absolutely just delights me. Like some of the weirdos, I'm especially a nut for the weirdos. If I find something weird in the day, and I'll welcome. If I find some kind of weirdo out in the field, it tickles me plumb pink. I'm going to just drop these back up here too now that I've got them shook and they're ready to go back up to their little display homes. There's one more. Where is it at? We are missing a rock, Roger. I don't know. Oh, it's in the kitchen because I thought it needed one more round. That's right. Okay, tricking myself. Some kind of notification in the way of my chat. There we go. You can rock the hound. Thank you, Joseph. Yep, cheers to that, everybody. Wild, absolutely. And it's redunculous that I can be like, there's a rock missing. Are you kidding me? Like, or that I can remember where all these rocks came from or who gave them to me. Or, I mean, it's like, I was gifted a savant power of rocks, and it's so illogical to like life and real life, like so impractical. Like, you know, of all of the amazing superpowers a person could get, rock savant is the one that I got. So yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous though. Like we can start all the way over here. Like this is a Canada auction rock. This came from Bear. That came from Jeff and Vicky. Joseph bought that piece. It's for UV purposes. That's a piece of AZ. These are mine. That's from the auction. Those are mine. That's AZ. That's mine. There's a couple of Jeff and Vicky's Botswana's back there. That's mine. Those are mine. Those are mine. Mine. Auction. Rufotris. Rooted Rockhound. Bear. Mine. Auction piece back there. Couple of Bear pieces. Rocky Mountain Bear pieces. Mine. Jeff and Vicky and Rocky Mountain Bear. All of these up here are mine. I did not put the blue common opal through the shaker. I did not think it would appreciate that, so it stayed in its place while everything else got a shake. But yeah, like how and why do I get a weird rock savant ability? It's just so messed up. It would figure though, wouldn't it? Hey, I saw the necklace I made you. Yes, absolutely. Because when I'm not wearing it, I love it to be right there. And there's a black light right there that sometimes I turn on and it you know, Rufo, my kitchen's a mess. Thank goodness it's blurring it out right now. Sent me that little UV reactive thing. So yeah, lots of neat little gifts and things from people up there that there's if it's up there, it's a special rock for some reason or another. It's one that I found that I'm darn proud of, or it's one that was gifted or given to me. So yeah, there's some special rocks up there. If they're up there, they're special. They're not up there for no reason. Necklaces, jewelry, things like that I want to see them every day. So they're up there. Oh, and Jeff and Vicky too. We're going to come over here really quick, because I did a thing. I took Joseph's things that he made, and of course I filled one up with the little treasures that Rocky Mountain Bear sent me, but I also filled one up with some treasures that Jeff and Vicky have sent me. And again, so they're right here every time I walk by, every time I'm here, and I got this brilliant idea too, to put a Dora Dangle ball right in the middle of that and make it kind of look like a little flower. When I'm out rock hounding and I find old bottles and glass smash, we call them glass smash sites, because back in the day people didn't know any better, and so when they had garbage out on the ranches and farms and stuff, they'd oftentimes just go dump it in a hole or whatever, right? And so we'll find the glass smash sites now, and I'll grab up some of the little tops of the bottles because they make great sphere holders. They make wonderful sphere holders. So yeah, set that up so that it looks like a little flower with a Dora Dangle ball in there. But yeah, I wanted Jeff and Vicky to know, because I had told everybody I was going to put Bear's treasures in here, and I did in fact do that. But I have a little Jeff and Vicky tray here too that I wanted everybody to know about. And then I made some meeps, you guys. Meep. I need to get this one's mouth a little bit better. He's so hard, though. I had a hard time getting him with my Dremel because he's a little pet wood. But, and I gave a couple of my meeps out to their new homes already, but there's a couple meeps. But, yeah. Anyway, I did want to show that. Excuse me. One more time, even. I did want to show that because I wanted them to know. I wanted Jeff and Vicky to know that they were there. Yeah, they're super great. I love them. And I got all kinds of really great treasures in there. There's some AZ stuff over here, some stuff I might do some things with. Oh, I'm freezing. I'm sorry, you guys. And then some of those polished rocks that I got from the guy here in town. And they're from Oregon. So lots of different little things going on there. But yeah, nice little setup. And I get to, every time I walk past here, and I have to walk past here to go either to the kitchen or to the bathroom. Here's the TV, you know, or if the kid's the only one that goes upstairs, and then the front door over there. So I walk past that every day. And I see it almost as often as I see the other little setup that's in the window, you know, where I sit and do my things. Need a blower for the wood burning. There is a blower in here. I need to feed it, stoke it, and stuff. It's burning. It's just smoldering is all. It's not very good wood today. And so that too, I need to go out, get some wood and that'll burn and stoke it up. Yeah, Lava Bison did do a good job on those. I do agree. I have shelf envy. Yes, it is definitely time to invest in some shelves. I mean, I have the beautiful meteorite and rock display behind me, which, by the way, is in rough shape right now. Don't look at it. It looks great from a distance, but let's not go look close. In fact, I might run a late night live one of these nights where I get in there and fix that because it is atrocious. It gets crappy cold out here like it is, and sometimes we wind up with a little hatchet and a mallet, and we're sitting here, you know, trying to split some wood, and it shakes and rattles the whole house, and pretty soon rocks are falling in the display case. So there are some rocks that are on the bottom that should not be, and some of my little rock shelves fail and things like that. So it's a disaster in there right now, and it's been neglected, and I'm kind of like, why fix it just yet if we're just gonna keep whacking logs in here and maybe upset it and disrupt it again? So, oh, I'm gonna warm them up all right. It's ridiculously cold today. But yeah, we made it through the night with what little bit of wood we've got wood, but what was up here by the front door. Like I say, by the time I got home over an hour and a half late, I was like, dude, I am not in the mood for going out in this crap and getting more wood. There's some in the wheelbarrow right outside the front door. We just step outside and get it. But I did, in fact, use the last piece this morning. And it's in there just kind of smoldering. So it does need, it's warm. Don't get me wrong, but it's not hot. So it's sad. It's a sad little fire. Like, gross, stinky, smoky, sad little fire. See what I mean? It's just in there smoldering and being disgusting. Nick. I'll take care of it in a minute. I wasn't in the mood. I was like, yeah, just throw it on there. Let it smolder. That's fine. It'll work for now. So, don't be jealous of my fireplace. It's no fun. It's hard work. They say that wood heats you 3 times before it heats you. Once when you get it, once when you split it and stack it, and another time when you go fetch it and bring it in, right? Like, it'll heat you at least 3 times before it actually heats you. So, oh, Jeff. Sorry, that was inappropriate, but that was my out loud voice, wasn't it? I'm just looking forward to, like, actual freezing, you know, like 32 degrees. Oh, God, that would feel so good. It'd be balmy. Like, I could maybe go for a rock hunt or something. You're right. So, but yeah, I don't have to go anywhere today. It is my day off, and today's the day to just, you know, stay home and play with rocks. I've had a couple of things going on. I feel bad for my kids. They have had a grandparent pass away like every other week for like the last 2 months. It's been just ridiculous. 2 on their dad's side of the family and 1 on my side of the family. And so again, I feel just a little like 1 step behind recently, and I know that that won't last, but yeah, taking, you know, a little bit of extra time to go do some family things and stuff like that. I'm a little behind on dishes, which I'm glad you guys kind of couldn't see what a disaster that is right now. I'm a little behind on things like laundry and things, but that's the kind of stuff I catch up on my days off, right? While I'm enjoying meteorite meeting, oftentimes I will be switching laundry over or things like that. So it's a day to get caught up a little bit for me, finally. You know, my 2 days off, Wednesday, Thursday are my 2 days off, so. Thanks, Betty. Oh, it's okay, you guys. It's okay. It was my grandpa who passed away, and my grandma passed away like a year and a month ago, almost exactly. And if I've got to be honest, I think grandpa kind of quit trying right after that. And he said almost every day that he wanted to go see grandma. And so there's a little bit of comfort in knowing that he passed in his sleep, and he wasn't in a home or anything like that. He didn't suffer. There was no pain. I mean, he just went and saw grandma. So, you know, we had a little bit of time. We've seen him kind of decline and stuff, and so we've had some time to kind of mentally prepare for that. And it, you know, we did see it coming. Where on the kids' other side of the family, there was a, you know, sudden heart attack, and that's hard to handle. I mean, when it's sudden, that's tough. But like I say, we've kind of seen grandpa's decline after grandma passed, and then he said every day he said he wanted to go see grandma. So it makes my heart happy to know that they're together. So it's not all a bad deal, but like I say, taking the time away from home, especially when it's this cold, it's tough. It's tough to get out and go do all that family stuff and still to stay on top of chores and things like that. But finally getting to a point now where I'm getting back on track a little bit. The schedule's a little less cluttered with other things, extracurricular family things and stuff happening. So we'll feed the fire up as soon as I get off of here with you guys. We'll warm it up, and then guess where's the best seat in the house once we get that fire roaring? Right here and right there. And so we'll literally just I'll put my bum right on that fireplace and cut stuff today, or I'll sit right here and wire wrap and enjoy that fireplace once I get it rolling. So you're not taking any chances, Patricia. Yeah, I need to get caught up. I need to do some dishes and some laundry. But again, I don't mind once if I can take some breaks and play with rocks in between. Excuse me. I don't mind at all. I don't mind at all. It feels good when it's this cold to go do the dishes. You're like, all the warm water. So yeah, I don't mind at all. And I've got rocks on the windowsill too, so when I'm doing dishes, I'm admiring some rocks up there as well. If you don't have rocks on your kitchen windowsill, you're not doing things quite right. So, has lapped you twice. Yeah, I feel like that, Ryan. I do. So. So I just, you know, I have had a chance to play with the shaker just a little bit. I did get a chance to try out the new grinding wheels and polish this beautiful Montana agate. Not one that I found. Disclosure claim there, I just about dropped it. And could definitely do some more of that on my next 2 days, you know, today and tomorrow on my days off. And I could definitely do some cutting and stuff. So I always wish that there was, you know, maybe a couple of me, because I'd like to do about 2-3 times more than I actually get done on most days. So, that was it. It's time to fill the cup up. There was a I had to chew my coffee a little this morning. A little extra substance in there. All right. Yeah. Again, there's absolutely no shortage of stuff to go meet the big saw. There's absolutely no shortage of work I could be doing on the cabbing machine. There's absolutely no shortage of wire wrapping and video editing and stuff that I could always be doing. So, yeah, it's freezing outside. I'm gonna build a fire and I'm gonna hide from the world. I'm not going anywhere today. It'd be a great day to build a big pot of stew and bake like some homemade bread or something. Like, let's just hide from the world. Oh. So yeah, I'm gonna get out of here before I freeze, get that fire sorted, and get started on some of my adulting responsibilities. And hopefully I'll have a little more to show you next week other than just hey, I cleaned some of my rock collection and I polished one rock. Oh, yeah, you know, some weeks you win, some weeks you just break even. So, so we'll go from there and we'll see what happens next week, you guys. We'll see what kind of grand adventures we have when the great thaw hits us. It should be so slushy. It's so exciting. I've heard rumor that the white on white is really in this year, but it was neat at first, but I'm over the white on white motif that we're looking at. White on white is out now. Let's get some color. Let's do something good out here. So yeah, we'll sing the song, and who knows what'll happen. How many other kids I'll have to rescue and drive home, and how many other times I'll have to be rescued and driven home before the winter quits torturing us and gives us just a little bit of a break. So I'm ready for it. Let's see, what are we gonna sing the song with? I got a little dino bone cab here. Ooh, this beautiful blue agate that I still haven't cut, that I want to cut. And the rock that I polished. We'll do these three. Do I have any more that I just would love to get up there today? Yeah, these three will work. None of them are pink. One of them is blue. There's no green. No, well, that one's got some yellow. Pretty rocks out on the prairie. Pretty rocks are everywhere. Pretty rocks for us to look at. Pretty rocks are everywhere. There's a pink one and a green one and a blue one and a yellow one, and they all are very pretty, and they all are everywhere. Thank you guys so much for your company today on this cold day out here on the prairie. I really appreciate all of you coming and hanging out, and the chat was wonderful. Warms our hearts on this cold day, and in a world where you can choose to be anything, choose to be kind of a rock hound. Thanks again, guys. Stay warm, stay safe. Oh, Betty Jane, thank you. And you guys, I'll see you again soon. And really, just one more quick story. I've been kind of joking lately that I'm in an abusive relationship with Montana. Wink twice if you need help. Because I'm kind of afraid to turn my back right now for fear of physical threat and possibly even death. She might even try to kill me. And I'm not even joking right now. She is threatening to trash my plumbing and wreck my truck. She's evil, you guys, and I don't know why I stay, and I'm like, well, I like it here, and I can't move. How would I move? I have tons of rocks. I can't move. Oh, guys. It's slightly an abusive relationship over here. It's borderline like maybe we should turn Montana in for like partner, family member assault or something. Before she sends me into total financial collapse through property destruction and harm, bodily harm, like all right, I'm blowing it out of proportion, maybe just a little, maybe not. It's been pretty rough. So yeah, on that note, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and boop.